evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Pearce-Wilson from Business News. First up tonight, we have two companies that are going to be discussing the level of corporate governance present within their organisations. Joining me now, we have Lily Smith from National Australian Bank and we have Casey Hart from Medibank Private. Lily, we'll start with you.
Thanks, Lena. Pleasure to be here. As you can see from our annual reports, NAB adopts a good level of corporate governance. We abide by all of the principles and recommendations set by the ASX Corporate Governance Council. We disclose details of the roles and responsibilities of all 10 of our directors on the board, 9 of which are independent and are all either a member or a chair of 4 associated committees. We have a detailed code of conduct policy that outlines the expected behaviour of all personnel associated with NAB, and summaries included in our annual report. Our whistleblower program encourages people to speak up about incidents occurring in the workplace. And finally, our disclosure policy outlines how we operate in a transparent manner.
But is it not true that the Banking Royal Commission exposed misconduct within NAB?
Perhaps.
Is it not true between 2013 and 2016, several branches across Australia experienced fraud and corruption as a result of the Introducer program? With bankers forging documents, accepting documents that were known to be falsified, failing to disclose personal relationships with introducers and then later receiving money from them? To make matters worse, the banker was aware that the borrower would be incapable of repaying the loan in the future. Is this all true?
Sadly, this did occur, but as soon as we found out, we notified ASIC and took appropriate action against the employees.
Did NAB not become aware of the issue in September 2015 via the whistleblower program? And then when it done nothing, a second call was received in October and only then begin to investigate the issue? When was ASIC actually notified of the breach to the Corporations Act?
February 2016.
So the board were aware of an incident that caused detrimental loss to its customers, yet took almost 5 months to disclose this to the main regulator?
We were investigating the issue.
I would have assumed ASIC would have still needed to be notified immediately. It's now March 2019 and surely NAB has stepped up. Have the customers been notified and compensated for their loss?
At this stage, no. They have not been notified or compensated. We are still working through the investigation to find out exactly who was affected.
It's been almost 3 years and still nothing? For one of Australia's big 4 banks, this just does not seem adequate. You may have a disclosure and code of conduct policy in place, but it doesn't appear that you abide or follow it. You may portray yourself as having good corporate governance, but actions speak louder than words, Miss Smith. I think it's time we cross over to Casey now from Medibank, where hopefully their corporate governance is better than NAB's.
Hi Lena, thank you. Hopefully you'll agree with me when I say that Medibank's corporate governance is good.
I guess we'll see what happens. So what makes Medibank different to NAB?
We understand that shareholders expect to be kept in the loop about the company. That is why our market and shareholder communications are of very high importance for us. Our disclosure committee assists the board of directors to ensure material information is provided to stakeholders in a timely manner. At our annual general meeting, we encourage shareholders to ask questions to both the board and our external auditor, which is PricewaterhouseCoopers. We share accurate information that is balanced, meaning we don't just share the good things, we also divulge information that relates to the negatives.
Sounds good so far. But wasn't Medibank recently accused of making false and misleading statements and acting unconscionably?
Yes, this is true. In 2016, the ACCC began legal proceedings against Medibank for not disclosing changes to members' policies.
What were the changes?
Several years ago, we had agreements in place with all radiologists and pathologists around the country where we would pay the gap fees on behalf of patients. In September 2014, we cancelled most of these agreements.
Is it true customers received hefty fees from hospitals for tests they had performed?
They did incur some out-of-pocket expenses for the test, but I would not say it was hefty. Compared to other fees incurred by patients at hospitals, these expenses were minute. Therefore, this information was considered not to be material.
So then, what happened with the court case?
The federal court dismissed the case on the basis that we've never promised to cover all costs for diagnostic services in our product disclosure statements. The ACCC made an appeal, however, the full federal court also dismissed the allegations. Media releases were issued throughout the entire case to update everyone. Information was also provided in our annual reports to ensure we were operating transparently.
Well, it seems like you've done the right thing then. No company is perfect. By ensuring you offered accurate information in a timely manner, you have proved that Medibank does actually have good corporate governance. I think that about wraps up tonight's conversation. Thank you both for taking the time to speak with us.
Thanks, Lena.
Thank you.
From what we've seen, just because an organisation perceives itself as having good corporate governance in its annual reports doesn't mean it actually lives up to it. It is only when true transparency is offered by the company in terms of disclosures do we actually see good corporate governance. Thank you and good night.